Hello everyone, I'm Professor S.R. Patil, Department of Information Science and Engineering, BLDA CET, Vijayapura. In this lecture, I'm going to teach you branching statements in C programming language. In sequential control, all the statements are executed in the order in which they are written sequentially in a program from top to bottom. Okay, so here in today's class, in this lecture, as I told you, I'll be talking about branching statements. So what are branching statements? It is necessary for the programmer to execute or skip certain set of statements based on certain conditions and is possible by using branching statements. Okay, so the importance of the branching statements is that it is necessary for the programmer sometimes he can execute or skip certain block of statements based on the certain conditions. So if this is a case, we are going to make use of the branching statements. So these branching statements can also be called as a conditional or decision making statements. This is a brief introduction about branching statements. C language provides the following 5 types of branching statements. The first one is simple if statement. It is also called one-way selection statement. Second one is if else statement. It is also called two-way selection statement. Third one is nested if statement or nested if else statement. So this is multi-way statement. Fourth one is else if ladder, or it is also called as a cascaded if statement. This is also multi-way statement. Then the fifth one is switch statement. That is also one of the multi-way statement. So we'll see one by one how each statement that works. Move on to the first one, simple if statements. So to write the program, in most of the program, okay, we are going to make use of this statements. Okay, so these we call it as a conditional statements. So what is this if statement? So here it helps the programmer to execute or skip true block of statements based on a given condition. We are not talking about the false block of statements here. If the condition is true, then it executes the true block of statements. So this is a syntax, the syntax which contains if condition. Okay, if the condition is evaluated to be true, then it will execute true block of statements. Then closing of the if condition. Understood? If is what? If is a keyword. Okay, so in the simple if statement, in this syntax, we are going to check the condition. If the condition is evaluated to be true, then the true block of statement will be executed, or else it will come out. Understood this syntax? Okay, so we'll see one example. You'll get an idea how actually this if statement works. The example is C program to find largest of two numbers using simple if statement. Okay, so to find the largest of two numbers, so we are going to write the program using the if statement here. Hash include stdio.h. This is a header file. Program execution always start from the main function. So because we are going to find the largest of two numbers, I am defining the two variable here, n1 and n2. Okay, clear screen. This is for clearing the screen. So next is enter any two number. Okay, so I need to read the two number. For that I have the scanf statement, that is ampersand n1 and ampersand n2. What it does, it will read two numbers from the keyboard. Okay, okay, this is important part here. If condition, if n2 is greater than n1, okay, which is greater here, n2 is greater. Okay, so what I am supposed to display? I supposed to display largest number is what? N2. Understood this? Okay, so when the condition is evaluated to be true, here what is the condition? N2 greater than N1. Okay, of course N2, if N2 is greater, then I am supposed to display the message that largest number is N2. Okay, one more condition. If N1 is greater than N2, okay, so which is the largest now? N1 will be the largest. So I am supposed to display the largest number is what? N1. So this is the if statement. Using if statement, I am going to find the largest of the two numbers. Understood? Okay. Move on to the next one more example. So this is a simple example. Here we need to check for even or odd number. Okay, so even or odd number, how you are going to check? Here just look at this condition. If n mod 2 is equal to 0, okay, so n mod 2 is equal to 0 means here I am going to take the n value, for example 2. Okay, so 2 mod 2, what is the remainder? 0. I'm going to get the 0. So n is even number. Understood? Suppose n value is 5. 5 mod 2, what is the remainder? Remainder will be 1. This is not equal to 0. Then it is not a even number. Are you getting? So that is why the one more condition here is that if n mod 2 is not equal to 0, obviously it will be odd number. Understood? It is a simple program. Okay. The one more example, that is to check the eligibility for vote. Okay, how we can use this? If age is less than 18, okay, all of you might have aware of that. If age is less than 18, okay, he or she is not supposed to vote, isn't it? That is, we need to display the appropriate message. The message is what? You are not eligible for vote. Okay, if the other case, if age is greater than or equal to 18, okay, if that is a case, then you are eligible for vote. Okay, so this is a proper message or appropriate message we are supposed to display. So these three examples are using the if statement. Okay, the next statement, that is if else statement. Okay, what is that? We have seen if statement, now it is if else statement. So it is two-way selection statement. If is a one-way selection statement, if else is what? Two-way selection statement. So why it is two-way selection statement? I'll tell you. It executes either true block of statements or false block of statements based on a given condition. Okay, so we are going to check here. It executes either true block of statements if the condition is true. If condition is false, then it will execute the false block of statements. Okay, so that is why we call it as it is a two-way selection statement. Okay, next, it is used by programmers to select one from two alternatives. Two alternative means one is true block of statement, another one is false block of statement. So among these two, we are going to select one. Are you getting? Okay, so we can see the syntax. Okay, if condition, okay, listen carefully. If the condition is evaluated to be true, then it will execute the true block of statements. Okay, understood? Okay, else part. If the condition is evaluated to be false, if that is the case, it will go to the else part and it will execute false block of statements. Okay, so whatever the false block of statement, that will be executed. So here two alternatives are there. Among two alternatives, we are going to select any one. If this condition is true, then true block of statement. If the condition is false, then false block of statements. Understood? Okay. So we can see one example on this if else, that is a C program to find largest of two numbers using simple if else statement. Okay. This is a header file. Program execution start from main. Okay, I am taking two variable here, n1 and n2. Okay, so I am going to ask enter any two numbers using printf statement. So those two numbers I'm going to read it, ampersand n1 and n2. So if the condition n1 greater than n2, okay, imagine that n1 is greater than n2. So which number I'm going to print as a largest number? Of course n1. Okay, isn't it? Largest number is n1. Okay, else. So else part is what? If n1 greater than n2, if the condition is fails, which one will be larger? Of course n2, isn't it? So I am supposed to display the message what? Largest number is n2. Understood? So this is if else. Using if else, I am going to display the largest of two numbers. Okay, so move on to the next statement, that is nested if statement. So this is a third statement. It is also a multi-way selection statement. In this type, the programmer uses simple if or if-else statement within another if statement. Listen carefully. In this type, the programmer uses simple if or if-else statement within what? Another if statement. Okay. It helps to select one from many alternatives based on given condition. Okay. So we can see syntax and example. You'll get an idea how it works. If expression 1 is nothing but a condition. Okay. If condition 1 is evaluated to be true, then it will enter into the loop. Okay. If expression 2 is evaluated to be true, then it will execute a statement 1. So here, to enter into this particular expression 2, expression 1 has to be true as well as expression 2 has to be true. If that is the case, this statement will be executed. Else, suppose this expression is true but this expression is false. If that is the case, it will go to the else part, then statement 2 will be executed. Okay. Suppose this first condition or expression 1 itself is false, then it will go to the else part and it will execute statement 3. If both are doesn't satisfy, then statement X will be executed. We'll see one example, then you'll get an idea how actually this statement works. Example is to find largest of 3 numbers by using nested if statement. Okay, this is a header file. Program execution always start from the main function. We are going to take what? Largest of 3 numbers. Largest of 3 numbers means at least I require 3 variables. So the variables are what? A, B, C. Okay. So large is a variable where we are going to store the result. Okay. Enter 3 numbers. I supposed to read the 3 numbers. Ampersand A, ampersand B, ampersand C. Okay. I have read all the 3 numbers. Now check with the condition. What is the first condition? Expression 1. If A greater than B. Okay. If A greater than B, imagine that is a true. If condition is true. If that is the case, again, here A greater than B is there. Of course, here also A must be greater than C. Okay. So if A greater than C, which is a larger value? Of course, A. Else, what? Larger will be C. It will check this condition. Obviously, A is greater than C. Here, larger will be A. Else, what is the value? The A larger will be C1. Okay. Else, it will go to the else part. If this is not the case, this condition fails. If this condition fails means we'll check the other condition. What is the other condition? If B greater than C, larger will be B, else larger will be C. Okay. Finally, we are going to display the larger number. So which is a larger, that number will be displayed on the screen. Understood? Okay, fine. The fourth statement, that is the else if ladder, or we can also call it as a cascaded if statement. Okay, so it is also another multi-way selection statement available in C programming language to select one from many alternatives. Okay, it helps the programmer to use another if-else statement. Listen carefully. It helps the programmer to use another if-else statement only within the else part of the previous if-else statement. I'll repeat once again. It uses another if-else statement only within the else part of the previous if-else statement. So this is what we call it as a cascaded if statement. So we'll see the syntax. It's very simple. Here if statement is there. Okay. If this is a condition and this is a statement. So within this if statement, what is there? Else if. Okay. Else if. Else if. Okay. So else if expression 2 statement 2. Else if expression 3 statement 3. Else if expression n statement n. There are many alternatives are there. Among many alternatives, we are going to find one. Okay. If this is not the case, if the expression 1 fails, then go to the else part. okay, then it will display the default statement. Okay, the default statement will be statement X. We'll see one example on this. Okay, this is a simple example. Here, C program to display the grades obtained by student based on the average mark scored. First, you try to understand what we are supposed to, like, based on the given data, how we are supposed to write the program. Okay, the given data is what they have given. They have given the grades obtained by the student based on the average marks scored. So just look at the output first. Average marks scored, that is, this is a marks and this is a grade which you have assigned. If the student has got the marks between 80 to 100, we are going to give the grade honors. If the student scored between 60 to 79, the grade will be first division. The average mark scored between 50 to 59, second division. The average mark scored between 40 to 49, third division. If 0 to 39, then fail. Okay, so based on this, I need to write the program. Okay, this is a header file. Program execution start from main, and float I have taken average. Why I have taken float here? Because if the student gets, like, for example, 72.5, okay, if that is the case, I cannot able to use integer as a data type. I am supposed to use what? Float. Okay, then next, this is clear screen. Printf, enter average marks scored by the student. I'm supposed to read the average marks individually. Okay, if average marks is greater than or equal to 80, I'm supposed to display what? Honor message. Okay, because it is greater than or equal to 80, because 80 to 100, what is there? Honor is there. So that is why I need to display the message honor. Else if average greater than or equal to 60, then first division. Okay, if average greater than or equal to 50, second division. Else if average greater than or equal to 40, then third division. Okay, else what is the last statement or a last condition? That is, if between 0 to 39, then it will be fail. Okay, so this is how we can make use of the else statement to execute the program of grades obtained by the student based on the average marks scored. Okay, then the next statement, that is what? Switch statement. So how actually this switch statement works? It is another multi-way statement. Okay, it helps the programmer to select one from many alternatives. Wherever multi-way statement will be there will be many alternative will be there. From many alternative, I am supposed to, or a programmer supposed to, select one from that. Okay, it is mainly used by programmers to provide menu option for the end user for a program to select one from displayed menu option. Okay, so there will be many options will be there. Among that, we are supposed to display one. We need to select one. Okay, so we'll see the syntax, then you'll get an idea. Okay, switch, it is a statement, value is there. Okay, so we are going to check the value here. Value are nothing but a condition only. Okay, so enter into this. If case value 1, okay, there must be space between case value 1. Okay, statement block 1 will be executed. Okay, then break statement. Next, case value 2, okay, statement block 2 will be executed, then break the statement. I'll explain how this break statement works in the further topics. Case value 3, statement block 3 will be executed. Okay, till n we can consider. By default statement will be executed, then break the statement X. So this is the syntax. So we can see one example on this. The example is simple C program to illustrate switch statement. Okay, so here I am going to give a input value that is 1, 2, 3, three choices. Okay, suppose if I give 2, it is supposed to display the message you have selected second choice. If I give number as a 1 here, it is supposed to display you have selected first choice. Are you getting? If among 3, if I am not given, if I have not given any of the choices, for example here, enter your choice. Among 3, what you have given? 5. 5 is what? Invalid choice. Okay, this is a message I am supposed to display. Fine. Come to the program. Header files, wide main, then int ch character I have taken. Okay, then enter your choice. Choice I am supposed to enter. Okay, I am reading that. Enter the choice. Switch, that is why case 1. If you have entered number 1, okay, if the choice is 1, then you have selected the first choice. Suppose you have entered the second. Okay, there are how many choices are there? Okay, 3 are there. Suppose you have entered in the case 2, you have selected second choice, appropriate message will be displayed. In the case 3, you have selected third choice. Okay, so if all the 3, like if you have entered correctly, then the proper message will be displayed. If you have entered the like wrong choice, for example 5, I am supposed to display the appropriate message that invalid choice. Okay, so this is the program for selecting the choices using the switch statement. Okay, so coming to the important question in this particular concept, you can expect the question like, what are decision making, or we can also call it as a branching or conditional. Don't get confused. In the examination, they may ask question like, what are branching statement, what are decision making statement, what are conditional statement, all are same only. Okay, discuss any three with syntax and programming example. So they may ask question like this. Okay, in if this is the case, you can pick any three and you can explain. If that is not the case, like, or the same question he may ask in this form, discuss the following with syntax and programming example. He will be mentioning what are the like statements: simple if else, nested if, else if, ladder. Okay, if this is the case, like answer will be same for both. You are supposed to explain each statement, okay, with the syntax and programming example. And one more question you can expect from this topic is, discuss switch statement with syntax and programming example. So these are the important question for the examination point of view. Just go through this. Uh, Yesterday is gone. Tomorrow has not yet come. We have only today. Let us begin. So this is said by Mother Teresa. So all of you start your work study from now onwards. Okay, so utilize time properly. Wishing you all the very best. Thank you so much for patience listening. Thank you once again.